Hey guys, back to another YouTube video. Today it's going to be a showing off video. Now me and my father went to some flea markets and went to a pawn shop. Didn't get much because there wasn't really much to buy. So I'm also going to do some updates on a few other items. So I guess the first thing I'll show off is what I bought at the pawn shop. Now as y'all may remember, a while back I bought these wooden handled screwdrivers at another pawn shop. Well, two at a pawn shop, one at a flea market. And they're all fully restored. I even took my friend 357 Magdad's tip and painted these handles black and clear coated them. So now they're all ready to use, and I have been using these here and there. That's one of the updates. Next is on these two that I bought at a pawn shop for $1. Now this one doesn't really need much work. All it needs is a simple handle stain. That one I'm going to do off camera. But this one needs the most work. As you can tell, the shaft is severely corroded, so is the cup. The handle's going to need major hand sanding and refinishing. And I can't see any markings, but there's a faint mark right on the shaft right here. So once I get it all cleaned up, I should be able to do it. And I'm going to be doing a video, so that way I can get this cleaned up a lot easier. So when I can, I'm going to do a video of this one. But this one I'm not going to do a video of, considering it has the less amount of work. All it really needs is a stain. That's really it. No name brand on this one. This one on the other end has some markings, but I can't make them out due to it being corroded. So I'll update when I find out what brand that one is. Next is on a surprise item. Now, as y'all may remember, I went to a pawn shop last week, I think it was, and bought this Ulster U.S. military knife. And I cleaned this up and restored it. And as I said in the previous video, I was looking for the other four. I've got the Camillus. Make sure this is the other one. Yep. I've got the Camillus version. And I've got the Ulster version. Oops, dropped it. The Ulster version. And now, thanks to my father, I've got the Imperial version, which it looks basically identical to the Camillus version. All it has as difference is the word Imperial on the blade. Now, when I first got this, it had a broken spring. So I was able to go through my knife parts and find a spring that identically matches it. So now you can't even tell the spring was broken. Sorry I didn't do that on camera, but I didn't really have time. So I just did it real quick, put a new pin in it, and voila. So y'all can thank my father for that, because that's going to stay in my collection. Now I'm only missing the fourth one. Next, he bought me this Barlow Smoky Mountain Knife Works. It's a Colonial Barlow, 1 out of 2000 made. And I love this knife. It's in great shape, and it is sharp as a razor. I haven't looked this one up yet, but it was given to me by my dad. You can't beat that. This will go great in my collection, and I'll put it on my pocket knife display. Which, if you want to see a video of, let me know, because these two aren't the ones I mainly keep all my pocket knives on. This one's got my Victorinoxes. This one's got my use knives I use a lot. But the ones where I keep the ones I've collected are on a different rack. So let me know if you want to see a video of that. Next is on this one my father found. A Camillus razor knife is what I call it. It's got a blade like a straight razor. Made in Camillus, probably made in the 1960s if I can guess, judging by the stamp. It's in great shape. All I needed to do was hand sand it, get it all nice and clean, clean up the blade. There's no chips in it. It's got the original bail still on it. So that was a project well done. So that's going in my collection. Next is these little minis. This one's a mini Colonial. I've already got one of these, so this one I'm going to sell off. And then this mini little USA with acrylic handles. Again, I'm going to be selling this off. Next, me and my father get these all the time in bundles. These cheap saber knives. I kept a few of them, but this one, since it's really cheap, I mean, this is plastic, that's plastic. So this one I'm just going to sell off with a bunch of cheap knives to whoever wants it. Next is an electrician's knife that my father bought. It originally had a blade that said Kansas on it, but the original blade was so well used. Actually, let me just go get it real quick. I got it actually in my blades. Alright, found it. This is the original blade that was in it. As you can see, it's very well used, and all it says is something Kansas on the blade. So anyway, blade needed to be replaced. So what I did is I took one of the blades I already have, since I work on these kind of pocket knives all the time. I put a new blade in it, kind of like a little utility knife, and then I just cleaned up the screwdriver. So this one I might sell or I might keep. I don't know yet. I'm going to use this a couple times just to see how good quality the blade is. So that goes to show no pocket knife parts get wasted unless they're broken. If this had a broken spring, I would take that broken spring out, throw that away, and just replace it. So in this case, the blade was total garbage, but the rest of the knife was in great shape. So that's a good one. Thank you, Dad. Next is a Japan knife, a big one, as you can tell. Don't know how old this is, probably from the 1970s if I can guess, probably 80s. And I love this knife. It's got multiple springs and tools in it that I've never seen. It's got real bone handles. But sadly, some of the springs are broken. If I get the main blade out. And some of the parts some of the functions do not work, as you can tell. But that's got a wicked blade on it. That I'm going to keep in my collection because I don't have one like it. And next is a German Swiss knife that my father was able to find for me. Made and sold in Germany. It'll go great in my pocket knife collection. I had to fix the tip because it was busted. But it'll go great in my collection. Thank you, Dad. Last but not least is the item that kind of burnt us. My father saw this in the eBay ad. It's a leather case for a case knife. But when you open it, there is a knife in it, but it's not a case. It's a saber. The case itself's worth $30. I've already got that sold for him. The knife itself I might keep. It's got a saber grind on it, as you can tell. And a lot of my good pocket knives have that, so I think I'm going to probably keep this one in my collection and use it as a user knife, so that way it'll go in this rack, so that way it'll go in this, so with my users. Alright, that's all the updates, and that's all the stuff I bought at the flea market. If you're interested in me doing an update on anything else, happy let me know. And I guess, as always, stay sharp.